Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to have all of you here. And it's not only a pleasure to have you all, but come knowing that we all coming from different parts of the world right now. Um, from Cameroon, from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Kenya, and I mean we are just global, and it's a pleasure to have all of us here. And so today is one of those days where you've come again to talk about, what's happening in the tech industry, what is trending, you know, um, what are recruiters looking for, right, when they're employing? What are startup founders looking for when they are building a team, right? And what are those who keep on getting jobs in the job market? What are they doing different that the other people are not doing, right? So what is that magic? What is that code? And so this is one of those sessions. Again, this is Solavis Technologies Institute, and today we are having a podcast, one of those podcasts where we always come and talk about things trending in the industry. This happens every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. You can always stay on the lookout, to join us for this session. So today, like I said, we want to get that code, break into the code of how to get jobs, right? How to stand out of the crowd, how to be outstanding, how to be outstanding. And so my name is William Fa Eric Nyezer. I'm a cloud and DevOps engineer and the CIO of SolaviseTech. I'm a trainer as well. And it's a pleasure to have all of you. And today is the most humble pleasure to have experts, in the field, to have recruiters in the field. No other persons than we have Esther. Esther Mbite is joining us right from Kenya, right? Esther, it's a pleasure to have you. Esther is a powerful cloud DevOps release engineer from Kenya. I think specifically Nairobi, right? Am I correct, Esther?
Yes, you're correct.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, so Esther is joining us from Nairobi, and it's a pleasure to have you, Esther, and everyone on the team. Like I said, Esther has huge amount of experience in the job market as a cloud DevOps engineer. He's worked across different roles, starting as a software engineer, and then till now he's a cloud DevOps engineer working with Indra Limited, in Kenya. It's a pleasure to have you, Esther.
Thank you.
Great. And second, on our team, it's a powerful person, right? I think we met just on LinkedIn, right? It's just the power of LinkedIn that we met. Nothing else will have brought it together. If not internet, not LinkedIn, we would have been here.
I know.
Right. So we have Johannes Paulus, Jimbe Salu. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. Johannes is a
Thank
powerful
you.
person. He's lived in Cameroon. He's a Cameroonian base. He's a Cameroonian, first a Cameroonian, he's a Cameroonian base. He's a Cameroonian. He has a lot of experience, not only as an African, but as a global leader, right? Starting Cameroon, Nigeria, now in the US. He studied in Harvard, and then he's currently building, a platform that is going to bridge, the employment gap, right? At the end of the day, when you get your training, when you get those skills, those expertise, and you have those certificates, you have that powerful portfolio, right? Where are you going to drop it? Johannes is here. He has built a platform. It's not only a platform, it's an AI-powered platform, for you to drop your application there, and, a recruiter is going to reach out to you. So it's a job bridging platform that he has built, an employment platform. So the name is Nanade. So throughout the session, we are going to talk about it. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Eric, and nice to meet you, Esther. I'm really looking forward to this conversations. Really excited.
Great. Awesome. On the team or on the call, we have a few people, right? And since there are just few of them, we would like to hear where they're joining from, what they're doing, their background, their skills, so that some of these conversations, when we are talking and sharing our experiences, we can actually tailor to, to the people that are on the platform, that are on the call right now. We have Kukwa Conscience. Conscience, we want to hear from you, where you're joining from, your background, your skills, and what you're looking to, to grab from this session.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon or accept warm greetings from Bamenda. So I'm Kukwa Conscience, currently based in Bamenda. I work for a local-based organization called CTVTA. So we are into community development. We work mostly with schools in terms of WASH programs and infrastructure. So as of this year, I decided to upskill my knowledge. And with that said, I saw the advert of SolaviseTech training people who wanted to dive into the tech world. And since I had no background, I actually did my checks, and from I think one of the recording on YouTube, I decided to dive into the tech field. So I'm still currently studying. It's new and really strange. So that's why each time when I see platforms like this where they want to maybe teach people how to navigate the new career path, I'm always interested to log in and see how I can learn to continually grow. So I'm really still a newbie in terms of everything. I don't have any background or strong skills. So I think I can't wait to see what will come out of the podcast today or the learning lectures.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Conscience, and to know that you're joining right from Bamenda. And yeah, like she said, Constance is a student with us, data science and machine learning, right? And I think she's one of the most, how would I say, persistent, like if she means to wants to do something, she will do it, right? She can tell every time we all talk, she always reach out to me. I want this, I'm trying to get this, I can't get it. Eric, can you help me? There's this resources, I'm trying to get it, but I'm having a challenge, right? You see that she's always working, right? And I can testify firsthand. It's a pleasure to have your Conscience. On the call, we also have Magdalene. Magdalene, I want to hear from you, your background, where you're joining from, and what you're expecting from this podcast session.
My name is Magdalene Wayua, and I'm joining from Kenya. My background is in tech, having done computer science and worked at some point as a software engineer, transitioned different fields, and right now I'm in the insurance industry, working with Britain and supporting the different systems that are in the asset management. So the job cuts across different things, databases, going to Azure, where hosting is done, the coding, the applications that has been done. So I'm here to learn how others are climbing up the ladder and also get a few tips here and there. Thank you.
Awesome. I mean, I don't know how to say it. You never know who is going to employ you today, or you never know who is going to help you. And you never know that one word that can change your life, right? And we are happy to know that you're here and you're also, within the tech field, cloud, data, you have a whole mix. You're working within the whole mix, right? You're a full package. It's good to know. So we also have Godfrey Ogemba. Godfrey, we want to hear from you, where you're joining from, your background, and what you're expecting, to learn from this session, right? So that it's going to help our panelists, to give you those secrets, to break you that code, into whatever you're looking for. So I want to hear from you, Godfrey.
Hello, thank you. I'm Godfrey from Kenya, Kisumu, Kenya, and I have a background in software engineering. I've also actually studied biotechnology, but transitioned into software engineering about 2 years ago. And I've been learning a lot about DevOps for like around 3 months now, and I'm interested in learning how to get a job in DevOps, and not just learning how to get a job, but also to make an impact in a workplace. So I hope to learn a lot from the panelists today.
Awesome, awesome. That's amazing to know, right? And it's good to know we have a lot of Kenyans here. So after this conversation, it shouldn't end here, right? Yeah, it shouldn't end here. Like I said, this is always the beginning, right? After this, take it a step further. Reach out to someone. Hi, I like the way you said, let's keep in touch, right? You don't know who is going to employ you, or you don't know who you might want to help tomorrow, right? So it's a pleasure, right, to have you, Godfrey. And I hope that your wish will be granted during the session. We also have Lucky, want to hear from you just briefly. Where you're joining
Hello.
from, your background, and you're expecting to get from the session, yeah? Yes, Lucky, you can go ahead.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Lucky. I'm joining in from Nigeria. I'm from an engineering background. I studied chemical engineering in the university. I transitioned into tech by taking the cloud and DevOps training in SolaviseTech. So after the training, I got a job as a network support engineer. I think I worked for close to 4 or 5 months. Currently, I'm doing freelancing for a company as a cloud and DevOps engineer. For this podcast, my goal is to learn from experts in the field to see how I can network and connect myself to more opportunities. Thank you.
Awesome. I think there is one unique thing about people who are serious, right? You always see them everywhere when it is needed, everywhere where it is, where there is value to be shared, right? Anywhere you see that value is to be shared, you always see them, right? I'm talking particularly about Lucky, Conscience, I think Godfrey too, right? They're always, on these our platforms. They are our students, and Lucky, we had this discussion yesterday, right? And we'll still continue that discussion. So hope you're going to learn a lot from here, right? The next person we're going to go to briefly is Talks Manus. Can we hear from you, sir? Oh, lady, sorry. Hope I am addressing appropriately, right? We want to hear where you're joining from, what you're expecting to get from this session, and your background. We can't hear you. You might have to unmute yourself. You're still muted. Okay. We can't hear you. All right, guys. Let's just ride on. Let's ride on. So it's good we heard the backgrounds of everyone, where they are coming from and their expectations, and also this is going to help our panelists, to refine and fine tune, those tips, those codes, right? So they can dish it out there for our community. So we are going to hit our conversation right away. And first, I'm going to bring on board Johannes Paulus, right? And our first conversation is going to be around, what trends or shifts are, shaping the hiring, the hiring field today, right? Yeah, he's building a team, right? He has a startup. Johannes has a startup. And like I said earlier, they want to bridge the job employment gap in Africa and beyond, right? And definitely he has a team that he's in building, he's recruiting, and I don't know if he's also recruiting and firing, but yeah, I know he's definitely recruiting, right? I think there's one common thing with founders. They say that you should be able to hire fast and also fire fast, right?
Correct.
If there's anything, yes, if there's anything you see that's going to hinder your progress as a startup, you should fire as fast as possible.
Thank you.
Right. So, sir, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. What do you think is the trend when it comes to, the hiring, space today?
Thank you, Mr. Eric, and thank you, Esther, and the other participants for joining this call. I know it's Saturday. It's 10:36 a.m. here in Boston. I'm really excited to be with you all. I mean, before I answer your question, Eric, just a little bit about my background is in medicine, so I never ever thought I would get into tech.
Okay.
My background is in
Wow.
laboratory medicine. I moved from laboratory medicine. I went to do cancer research. I was doing research on the cancers of the lung and the esophagus. So we're doing a lot
Interesting.
of research using laboratory animals, rabbits or rats, as you know, in research.
Okay.
Most of that I did in the
Interesting.
US. And then
Right.
decided to get into international development. So I've been working with the UN for the last 10 years. Worked in Nigeria, in Niger, in Benin, in Cote d'Ivoire, in South Africa. And my work was focused around building was more focused around workforce development. So really building the Africa's human capital. How do we bridge the gap between talent and opportunity? So I was the lead portfolio manager for youth skills and employability in Nigeria. And with my experience there, I decided I saw a huge gap when it comes to addressing the unemployment crisis in Africa and the huge opportunity that exists. But then, how do we harness that potential? How do we harness that youth bulge? As you know, Africa is 1.4 billion people. 70% of that population is under 25. It's estimated that by 2030, 85% of jobs will require new skills. So what are those new skills? So how do we then continue to upskill young people? And 14 million young people get into the job. 14 million young Africans graduate from university and get into the workforce every year. But the workforce can only accommodate 3 million. So what happens to the 11 million? Well, let me just be frank. For those that came to this call hoping to get a job, sorry, there are no jobs. There are not enough jobs. The job market is very, 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 very hard. But the one thing that I think we all stand to benefit is how do we continue to upscale? In terms of the hiring trends, again, I forgot to say that I'm the founder. I founded a startup at Harvard. It's called Nanade, and I'll talk a little bit about that. We are building Africa's first AI co-pilot and pilot for jobs and a career guidance platform for African talents. Our goal is to ensure that African talent this platform is being built by young Africans in Africa. Our goal is really to ensure that African talents stay on the continent, that equipped with the skills that they need. In fact, the workforce in China is becoming expensive. Everybody's turning to Africa. India is becoming expensive. Everybody's turning to Africa. So I'm really excited to see young folks like yourself really trying to harness these tech skills, and which are those tech skills that will be in demand. Right now AI is pretty much in everybody's lips. Even I'm sure your cousin in the village knows what AI is, machine learning, cybersecurity, and like you see now, a lot of the junior roles are shrinking because AI is doing the jobs of those roles, right? Junior roles are shrinking, and I think that as a young person, it's good to specialize. You need to actually know, especially what field you are interested in, rather than just doing something general. Um, for me, I think the top skills right now is in AI, machine learning, using platforms like AWS, Azure, cybersecurity, and then playing with large language models. That is where the jobs in the tech space are. But I also want to say this, and it's based on experience. The tech space is also becoming very saturated, very, very saturated. There are lots of young people today that that are taking some of these tech courses, programs. It's becoming saturated. But what gives you a better advantage over the other person is how do you use AI? AI is going to be relevant. People that are able to use AI will stay in their job. People that are not able to use AI would be let go. So I think while AI is not a panacea to everything, we really need to harness it. But then how do we ethically use AI? We need to be conscious of our footprint on AI. It has huge impacts on the climate, on the environment. We don't have a lot of, data centers are also overwhelmed with all the prompts engineering that we feed into the models. But the biggest challenge is that we don't even have, Africa does not have good data sets. So I think one of the key skills also is around, data scientists. How do we then, leverage our own data to make meaning out of it, share stories, to attract more investors. But I don't want to say much. I would just say that right now recruiting is has been very streamlined. Like I said, AI Nana Day is an AI powered job matching platform. We identify talents, we vet, we place, and we match them to jobs. I will share the link in the group right now. Eric, when you called me this morning, I was in a panic attack. We are actually doing activations right now in one of the states in Kano. One of the states in Nigeria, in Jigawa, and the platform just froze. People could not log in. I had to call my dev team to be like, "What's happening, guys?" For some reason, somebody forgot to do something, and it's just so. But I'm gonna come to all of the workings when I'm working remotely, when my team is all based in Nigeria and Cameroon. But it's really been an awesome process and awesome experience. But I want to just say that, being part of a tech ecosystem is really, really important right now, because the world is becoming a global village, and technology will continue to dictate how well, we manage, the opportunities that we have, on our fingertips. But over back to you, Eric.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Johannes. I think I missed a little bit because I got kicked out, right? But I think one thing you mentioned that struck me was, being part of a community, right? Despite the fact that we know there are no rules, right? You need to be part of a community, which is why we are here, right? Which is why we are here. I don't know from your end, Esther, what can you add to what Johannes just said? Do you have anything to add in terms of the shift in the hiring process? I know with your experience through the roles you've gotten, do you have anything to add to what he said?
Yeah, on the shift on the hiring process, some years ago, most of the companies used to focus on papers. Like, yes, you've gone to school, you've attained your computer science degree, but then do you have this required skills? Yes, those certificates that were given in school, they're going to help you to be shortlisted for the interview. Yeah, but then are you able to hack the interview? Are you able to be one among the top people who are going to be selected after the interview? So that's why it's important to always skill up and get ourselves into these tech communities, tech schools like this. We have SolaviseTech and other schools that provide these skills, the hands-on skills that the industry needs, because the industry no longer focuses only on papers, but also on the hands-on skills.
Okay, that's really interesting to know. Yeah, I think just from these, if there's one thing I picked from what the two of you have said, is the essence of a community, right? The essence of a community. You can't study in isolation. You can't, be searching for a job in isolation. You can't, be hunting for a job in isolation. Talk to someone, join a group, join a community, right? And you see that thing that you've been sitting and wondering, like, okay, how do I get this? How do I get this? It's just there within your community, right? It's in what someone within that community has it for you. And just to back to you again, Esther, which roles do you see, that are in high demand currently within the tech space now, right? Which are those skills that are currently in high demand?
Okay, based on how tech has evolved, most of the companies, each company is having pressure to go from on-prem data centers to cloud. So that calls for need for cloud engineers. Also, the rising of AI has made the need for having those AI engineers, machine learning engineers. Also, the increasing in data has also led to increasing demand for data analytics, data engineers. Yeah. So the roles that are in high demand, we have DevOps, we have cloud engineers, cybersecurity engineers, that is DevSecOps, and also SREs and FinOps, and yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. All right, interesting. But is there anyone, right? Is there anyone you can say among all these ones? You talked about AI, ML, data, cloud, FinOps, right? Currently, we're in 2025 now, and we are almost ending the year, right? Is there anyone you can say, okay, among all these, is there anyone you can say that tops that list? Right? Because if someone might be getting into a tech today, right? They don't have any background in tech. They might not want to get in any field. Okay, not just because you've listed all of these, which one do you say has a high potential, that looks more promising? But which one will you say among, or which ones?
Okay, I would say that because we are trying to move from the old traditional way of IT and deploying things and hosting. Okay, trying to reduce okay, in case our data centers ban, the ones that we are hosting on-prem, what happens? So trying to reduce the risk, most of the companies are adopting the trend of cloud. So I would say cloud engineers is in high demand.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That means right now everything revolves around the cloud, right? Whether it's a data center, whether it's, it's an AI model that you want to deploy, whether it's an AI powered platform, whatever it is, whether it's a FinOps platform, whatever you're doing, whether it's data analytics, anything, cloud hosts it for you, right? That's interesting to know. I think throughout this year, I haven't thought about that, but it's interesting to know at least. Yeah.
Our own phones are hosting data on the cloud. For example, when you go check on the Gmail,
yeah,
where do they store our photos?
Right. Exactly. Google Cloud.
But let me just come back to Eric. Let me just push back to what Esther was saying. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
the challenge with, I mean, definitely agree with what he said, with what Esther said about cloud engineering. I think one of the things is we need to also be mindful, who owns this data, right? I mean,
Right.
How many data centers are African owned or are in Africa? I think there are about 120 or 150, but America has about 2,000 data centers, right? If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
I guess my numbers are right. And you get to see that even the fewer data centers that we have, you know, the data belongs to is either cloud, Google, or Microsoft or AWS. They can pretty much figure out what that data should look like or what it should dictate, with the models they are building. And I think, that as cloud engineers, or as tech developers, one of the things that we really need to start looking at, how do we then, and it comes to the advocacy point of view, because I think communities like SolaviseTech has a huge opportunity to start to have a policy-oriented frame mindset in terms of how do we then start to talk to policymakers on the importance. I mean, we're a community of tech developers, but then this is the current trend. We shouldn't just wait for the government to say this is what we want to do, but this is the current trend. We need to train more cloud engineers so that we are able to start to harness and manage our own data and data sets and data centers. Yes, my understanding is that to build a data center cost about $100 and something thousand, if I'm not mistaken. It's huge. It's a lot of money. But I do think that we need that advocacy from communities like yourself to policymakers to say, yes, while we are building tech and building tech talents, if we don't have autonomy over our data, we're still just doing we're just playing cats and dogs here, because these big tech companies will still manage that data and dictate what we should do with the data. But over.
Perfect. I totally agree with you, Johannes. I totally agree with you. Just a quick story. A week back, right? There is a country, right? For the sake of privacy, I don't want to mention the country, right? So they got this company, they wanted to, digitalize their healthcare system, right? And so the government got into partnership with an Indian company, right? And they had the contract to digitalize the entire country healthcare system, right? That was the contract. And so for some reason, the government did not, fulfill the terms and conditions. right? They already had a system implemented in place. Along the way, they didn't comply to, I think it has to do with money, right? Meanwhile, the data, the national data, like everybody's data for the entire country, they already got it at a certain stage in the phase of the project, right? They got the data into the system. And the unfortunate thing is that the data is not in the country. It's not in the hands of the government, right? That is the current state in which the country is right now. Yes, the entire healthcare system. It's now under, a different company outside the country. So I totally agree with you. I think this is one of the things I have to take back to our team, to my team here, right? How we can position ourselves to advocate for, data privacy and ownership within our country. Yes, so that when we are, working with these companies, we should be able to drive that conversation. Aside that, the government, at a point, they don't care, right? Unless you let them know that, hey, you don't own your data. You're not in control of your data. It's someone else, and anything can happen, and you don't know what they're doing with it, right? And I think that's the brilliant point there. And I just noted it down.
And
Right.
Eric,
Yeah.
the pitch should, yes, I totally agree. And the pitch should also look at the angle. Not every country is gonna have a data center, right? But then
Right.
let's build borderless data centers. So for example, if Cameroon cannot have a data center, let's host our data with Nigeria.
Yeah.
If Kenya can have a data center, let's host our data in Tanzania,
Right.
but then we need to have that mutual agreement that okay, at least the data center is still owned and stays within the continent, and
Yeah.
and and even though Niger can have a data center, but maybe Chad can host their data, but then they can start to engage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that can go a long way to, to breach certain right? How can I put it? Maybe even reduce cost, because sometimes you talked about cost
Correct.
there. That can go a way to break down that cost, and maximize certain opportunities, by
Absolutely.
merging. Yes. I think that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna move straight in our conversation. And so we'll be looking at the next thing we want to look at. Yes, Johannes, just back to you again. You're currently building a team, right? As a founder, as an expert, as a leader with your experience. And you work across multiple teams, right? Right from Cameroon, Nigeria, Harvard, and then you're in the UN. So beyond the technical skills, right? Beyond the technical skills, um, what else do you see is important, for you to employ someone? Let's say you've seen a DevOps engineer, right? They have a powerful resume, a powerful profile, that spark that can make you, give you that aha moment. You look at this profile and you're like, wow, right? Beyond that, what else do you look for when you're employing someone?
This is a topic that I can speak maybe from morning to night, because one of the biggest challenges that I'm facing now is soft skills. I don't know if this is
Okay.
I don't know if I'm not trying to generalize it, but every tech developer that is on my team, their
Yeah.
soft skills is at zero. Zero. They are just sitting on their computers, chilling, texting on the WhatsApp group. Hey, I've done this. Can you push? Oh, I have implemented this. Can you look at the code? And I'm like, bro, my dear, can you just take a phone and call and say, hey, let's get on the call and let me show you what I've done, so that you're able. Right today we had a technical glitch because there just wasn't any communication. We thought of how do we create more collab. We even tried to institute what you call Jira. I'm sure you guys know Jira.
Yeah. Sure.
They were just last they were hesitant because again they don't want you to monitor exactly, because on Jira you can actually track what everybody does a day, every second. They are deliverables. I moved from paying them monthly and I'm paying them per deliverable. It became a crisis because you're paying them per deliverable, then they have to actually deliver before they get paid. And micromanaging young people today is the worst thing that I can do. I want to say that for me, when I'm hiring someone, I want somebody that can challenge me, somebody that can come and say, hey, boss, what you're doing is not right. I think we should do it this way. I like that. I don't like yes, sir, yes, ma. This thing, yes, just, it doesn't work, because at the end of the day, you're not challenging me. It means that everything I say, first of all, I'm not a tech founder. I'm a non-tech founder. So I've just
Right.
grown to learn certain technologies in tech just over the last 1 year. And we've had cases where we've been able to, we are just about to launch our product, and then all of a sudden there is a technical glitch, or I mean my DevOps keeps saying this word, I'm gonna push. I've heard this terminology push for like 1 billion times. Push, what does push mean? Yes, you're pushing, but you're not pushing. The result I'm not seeing, and I'm not seeing the results. You're pushing, but you're not pushing. So I think for me, the most key important thing I look for people is humility, the ability to listen, the ability to communicate, the ability to collaborate, the ability to problem solve, you know, and do not panic. Yes, the tech, you always, like today we're doing activations. There was people couldn't sign in. Guess what? They were said there is an issue with the rate limiting. I think they had set the rate limiting usage to just 5 people in a minute or whatever. So, we're doing mass enrollment. So then I think the system was either detecting it as a hack, or I don't know what that meant.
Yeah.
So it stopped people
Okay.
from registering because. So I'm like, but this is something you should have done, you know, and this is something you should have pre-tested before we go into mass. So the problem, but I like the fact that I think the biggest challenge for me is that I have to take my phone, I call my DevOps, my UI, my AI engineer on the phone and connect them and say, hey, you guys can talk while I'm doing my job. I don't have to do that. But they don't have the initiative to take a phone and call themselves and figure out something. You know, with all of the time you've spent learning these skills, and then you think that working in silo works, it just doesn't work. Because as a tech developer or as a person in tech, you have to communicate because it's a piecemeal. This person does this, hands over to this person. The UI does the design, hands over to the developer. Then you guys have to talk because both parties need to communicate to get this outcome of something working. So I think that's the biggest challenge. I recruited all of my talents on LinkedIn. These are young people that some of them have known, some of them have not known, and I've come to realize that tech developers can give excuses. There was no light, there was no internet, my leg is paining, I have a headache. When I'm going back to my investors, I cannot be telling my investors that, hey, my tech developer had a headache and could not deliver in time. No, it just doesn't work, right? I think that as young talents in the special in if you don't have light, I should not tell you to go to a neighbor who has light to work. It's common sense now. But then when it's month end, you want me to pay you. How come? It just doesn't make sense. I want young people to be proactive. There is no
Right.
light. Communicate that to me 2 3 hours prior. Tell me that these are the plans I am putting in place to mitigate this risk. Now, one of my developers had to figure out I'm to buy Starlink. Yes, because I had to push him. I said I can't keep paying you if you are not delivering. Okay, they said okay, I'm gonna go buy, and he's one of my best. He was so proactive. He bought a Starlink, then he bought a backup this thing for lighting. What do they call it? Solar, so that
Yeah.
he can
Hmm. Yeah.
constantly have light when he needs it. So right now,
Yeah.
that's the most reliable DevOps that I have in my team. He's the most reliable person, and I'm not saying that all of them are this. He's the most reliable. When I'm stressed, I just hand over to him, say, take charge, come to me if there are any issues. But one thing I've learned is to be empathetic, because young talents today, they are going through so many things. They are going through family issues. They have other things that they are going through. They are figuring
Yeah.
out their, someone might be sick in the family. They may not even have money to pay for transport or to eat or all of those things. I've learned to really understand my team, to really understand what are your needs. Tell me, open up, tell me what is the issue.
Yeah.
Because the moment I
Right.
know what your challenges are, that's how I can help. But otherwise, if you don't tell me and you're running late each time, my tech developer last, I'll just end. He was supposed to deliver something, and each time we're about to deliver a product or do a demo to a partner, there's always a challenge. The other day we're about to do a demo.
Mhm.
The code did not work. I'm like, what is happening? You know,
Right.
the other day, I just saw on his status, I'm gonna be off till further notice, and I'm paying you. I don't know that you're gonna be off till further notice, and then you disappear for 1 week. Your phone, no phone calls, nothing, and then you show up after
Right.
1 week. I was sick, guys. Please, we need to do better.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is I think it's good you're bringing this conversation, right? And it's good that for those of us on the platform that are still training with SolaviseTech, or maybe wherever you're training, it's good you're getting this firsthand from a founder, from a recruiter, right? And from someone who has been in the field. So it's good you're picking up what the you know the few ones written right now, what the tech few ones, and don't just pick it up, write it down. And when you leave from here, take action. Right? When you leave from here, take action. It's not about just listening and then you go back, you know, you join a team and you start manifesting the same thing that he's saying. You can't communicate, right? You can't speak out. You can't collaborate. You're just silent. Thank you for bringing this. We are so happy to hear, Johannes. I don't know, Esther, do you have anything to add? What has kept you going in your own you've been in the field for a long time now. Tell us, what is that secret? What's your that spice that has kept you going?
Okay, first, I would like to add on to the points that Joanne has mentioned. I would
Yeah.
like to say that employers are also looking for someone who can be able to adapt to new technology as fast as possible. In case the employer wants something new to be done or to be integrated into the system, all the team members can't just say that they don't know the technology. Someone must be able to take up the role, learn new stuff, and finish the job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
So,
Hello guys. You want to go on?
hello. So you had asked me what has kept me going.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So having the many years in the industry doesn't mean that I just got comfortable where I was, because new guys, the young guys are coming out of school with new skills and they are coming out hot. So what has kept me going, what has kept me be able to do my task effectively is upskilling. So what I do, I usually, the same way, remember when in high school when math was supposedly very hard, so our teacher used to tell us to maybe handle 5 questions in a day before we sleep. So the same thing. If I'm finding a technology a bit difficult for me to learn, but I really want to learn it, so what I do, I get hands-on. I upskill. I have my own home lab, we don't need a lot of resources. I just use the same laptop that I have to learn a new technology. If I want to learn Docker and maybe Docker can't run on this machine of mine, what I do, I go to, we have these playgrounds that these platforms offer. We have Docker playgrounds, Kubernetes playground. I go upskill from there, practice from there. I would also recommend that, I was in a different school and I didn't know about SolaviseTech many years ago. So it is good for it's good for someone who is in tech to get enrolled into school and have those hands-on there. So that is what has kept me going.
Awesome. So guys, I'm writing it down. Whether you're writing it down or not, I'm writing for myself. Please better write for yourself. Right? All the points I'm writing for myself, because for me, I keep adapting, I keep upskilling, I keep, trying to improve on my soft skills. Right? No one is was born with these skills. And so you have to be upskilling. You have to keep on learning. Right? Yes, never say that you know everything. At a certain point, your mind is going to get tired. Your mind gets blocked, right? And so the only thing you can do is to come back, refresh, go back again, relearn, right? If there's something that you don't need to learn, you can unlearn it, keep it, and pick up with a new one, right? So guys, write everything down, and after this session, you take action, right? Yeah. So let's look at I want us to look at in terms of portfolio, right? Building a portfolio and also having relevant projects versus certifications, right? Still with you, Esther? right? How did your portfolio and your projects, your certificates, how did that play? How did that help you to be where you are now?
Esther
We
is
can't hear
muted.
you. You
Yeah,
can.
sorry, sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
Yes, you are
Yeah,
muted.
that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, sorry. So we've seen a role that has been advertised in a certain company. We are 30 of us who wants to apply for the role. So all of us have gone to school. We've attained those. We all of us did computer science, right? And then we have the certificate. But then 30 out of, okay, we are 30 of us. 10 out of those 30 people have AWS and SolaviseTech certificates. So that means the 20 of us who didn't have these extra certs are going to be left out. So the remaining 10, 3 out of the 10 have a portfolio. They have active GitHub repositories. They are able to showcase stuff that they have done. What do you think is going to happen? The 10, only 3 are going to be shortlisted. So certificates, they are good. They are going to make your recruiter notice your CV. Yeah, they're going to show that you're committed to learning. But then portfolios are adding value onto those certificates. They are going to get you hired. It's a proof that you've been doing something and you are good on your hands on. Yeah. So it's good. We're not saying that people should not go to school and get those certs. They should. But on top of that, show us that you're doing something. Show the recruiters, not me. Yeah. Show the recruiters that you're doing something. You're able to do good hands-on. You're able to deliver. You're able to think and come up with a good design. Yes, you can showcase it on your GitHub repositories.
Awesome, awesome. Please, you bear with me. Where I am, there is some music, right? And I think I also jotted it down because usually there's this misconception that certificates are going to get you a job, right? And this is you are reiterating that no, they're just a backup, right? They're just a backup. Now you have your portfolio showing your projects, showing your skills, showing your expertise. You know, the certificate is just to tell you that, okay, you are an expert in this field, right? But again, what is in the background that you're doing? Show me a proof that you're doing, right? Okay, the little things, the projects, the skill set that you have, that is the portfolio you're talking here. And like you said, it's very, very important. Guys, please take these things very seriously, right? Take it very seriously. And again, if you're just joining us for this session, this is the SolaviseTech podcast. It's every 2 week session that we have on this podcast. We bring in experts, recruiters, professionals to come and share with us their skills, their expertise, give us tips, right, for our community. So if you are here, feel free, relax, and jot down any questions that you have. After the session, we are going to come back to you, right? And you're free to ask, you are free to comment, right? If you have any observation, feel free, jot it down, and we'll come back to you. Guys, hope you're enjoying it. If you're enjoying it, let me see any reaction, any comment in the chat. You can unmute yourself. This is not a training session, right? This is a relaxing session. We're just having a conversation and enjoying the learning. Guys, yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm having all those reactions and knowing that we are all following, right? So next on our conversation, we want to look at, I know that Johannes, like he earlier mentioned, he's dealing remotely with his team, like collaborating and all of that. How is that remote work for you? How do you find that? How do you handle it? Right? How do you handle that collaboration? How are you able to navigate, communicate with your team, collaborate remotely with your team, knowing that you're in the US and then you have your team in Cameroon and so on? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. I mean, like I said, I'm a non-tech founder, and I launched Nanade, I think November this month makes exactly 1 year since we launched. We launched here at Harvard, and first of all, I wanted a small team, a team that I'm able to manage, but I like working with young people because they are teachable. That's just me. Young people are teachable. Yes, you can shout at them, you can crack their heads, they'll still listen, right? And I've told my team, you must be teachable. You should not be the kind of person that claims to know everything, because everybody, keeps learning. Um, First of all, these young people, some of them are in school, some of them have other gig jobs. So they are not just working for me, they are doing their own thing. I'm not able to pay them full time, so they are working for me part time. Um, and 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 so we have meetings on Mondays at a certain, so it's about 7 p.m. their time, which is about 2 p.m. my time in the US. At least I let them go about with their day's work. 7 p.m. they come back, and then but that was the only option, because you already know that by 7 p.m. they're tired. Somebody is showing you a code and is sleeping or is tired, all of those things. I mean, but I understand, right? I understand. Um, so we have our monthly meeting, our weekly meetings, but then I have one-on-one with them during the week as well. You know, and I've also come to realize that the biggest challenge in Africa, or even in Cameroon, let me say, is that we don't really have readily available talents. It was so difficult finding a UI person or an AI machine learning person in Nigeria. But then, because Nigeria is way advanced, in terms of tech. It was easy to find. But in Cameroon, you need referrals. If I tell them I'm looking for an AI machine learning in Cameroon, I'm sure it's gonna take me 3 months or 5 months to figure out who is that person. In Nigeria, I'm gonna have that person within like an hour or two. you know. But again, the fact that like we brought in a UI person to to kind of serve as a backup, because on Nana Day so Nana Day is an enterprise platform. So what we are trying to do, we're trying to build an entire ecosystem where an individual comes in, creates a profile, can access a job board. We are partnering with a lot of companies in Nigeria and across Africa. They post jobs, then they get a match score. The match score either tells them if they should apply for the job or not. Our threshold is 65. Anything above 65, as you apply to the job, the employer immediately gets your profile, your CV, and can schedule an interview with you within seconds. Right now, we are trying to partner with another company that would help to do the interview, the pre-interview, with an avatar using AI. That avatar populates questions based on the JD, but then it asks you those questions in real time. So if you were to do the interview twice, there will be completely different questions, because it asks you questions based on your response. We are trying to scale that on the continent, but that means that we need to keep readapting our UI and all of that. And I was looking for a UI person to come and help. Somebody referred me to one guy, and this guy came and said, "Oh, I'm a UI person. I've been doing these projects." Till today, that guy has never delivered any UI related task. He's doing more of project. He's perfect in brand in doing mock-ups for my logo and whatever. That's his thing. And I'm like, Baba, are you a UI or you're doing brand design? He said, No, I'm a UI. You cannot tell. I'm saying, but you're not doing what your UI. So I also think that young people are so, how do I put it? They are so kind of everybody wants to have a role in tech. I'm a senior developer. I'm like, it's not giving you money. If you're not able to defend what you're doing, that title does not give you money, right? So I also think that young people are overselling themselves. Let me just be frank. They are overselling themselves in the kind of roles that they are taking. Because just tell me that I'm like, how many years of experience? You have 2 years of experience and you're a UI expert. How come? It's an entry role. You'll keep learning. I had to buy a device called I had to subscribe for UX Pilot. I'm not here to sell them, but UX Pilot is actually an AI powered UX platform that can create any UX for you. So UX people, let me be frank, by very soon you guys will be going out of the market, to be honest, because if you're focused on UI UX, there are already AI tools that can do UI UX for you. You don't need to have you don't need to hire someone. So I think that as tech developers, please, you need to constantly see what are some of the applications that are coming out there that might take your role and upscale. That is very important. But back to the remote work, I think working remotely has been amazing, but it's been very, 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 very much overwhelming, because nobody wants to take lead. I have to be the one to send meeting invites. I have to be the one, if I'm not on the call, nobody gets on the call. I'm like, it's just not working. So to end the story short, because I'm not also able to pay them full time, I think remote work has been the best option, but it requires deliberate engagement and commitment. Because as a startup company, I tell people nobody's gonna sell your company more than you. So you need to, like, the whole night I haven't been up just trying to make sure that this technology is working, this is working. My team is tired of me because I each have to call them so that they can get on a WhatsApp call and figure out something before they go to sleep. So remote work has been good. I mean, a lot of young people like remote work because they want to sit in their houses and do work. They don't want to be in an office because they are saving cost on traveling, on taxi, having. But then there is the danger to it is lack of productivity if you don't really follow up on things. I'm gonna end there for now.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I think one keyword that I picked up from what you said, right? If anyone is here, right, following us as we are discussing, if there's one thing that you should pick out is that if you are joining a startup, right, if you are joining a company, know that you're going to be working with speed. Speed is key,
Yeah.
right? Yes, speed is key. Whether you're working full time or part time, know that there's need for speed. Know that there's need for speed. So you should arm yourself very well. And then don't oversell yourself, like you said. Don't oversell yourself because there's a tendency to underdeliver when you oversell yourself, right? So these are the key points that I've personally jotted them down. And then lastly, whether it's your company or not, whether you're the founder, whether you are just maybe a part-time employer or whatever, right? Be ready to take initiative. For me, take the initiative. Don't wait to be told to do something. Right? Don't wait to be told. It's going to set you apart. It's one of the things that we're discussing here. If you don't do that, they will just do you like any normal employer or any normal team player. And it's not going to set you apart. I think for me, I'm also picking it up. And tomorrow, if I find myself maybe working with Apple or maybe Facebook, those are the things I'm going to, embrace. Right? So guys, I hope you've taken it down. I don't know, Esther, do you have anything to say about this? You work from home. I know for you it's hybrid, right? You is hybrid, so you play both ways. So tell us a bit your secret. How do you manage that, working remotely, the convenience you have at home, seeing your kids around you, yeah.
Okay, I will say that one of the key aspect I've practiced is discipline. So when working from home, it's okay, as employees, okay, I experienced this during COVID, that after the Scrum meetings, most of the people used to go about their own business. So you end up, okay, you're looking for someone on Teams that you need their help, or you should be working on something together. That person is not available until late in the afternoon or in the evenings when they are showing up. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have power, or something like that. But to be honest, they went about their business. So working from home requires a lot of discipline. Yeah, because you've gotten the chance to work at our own space, at our own convenience, and we're avoiding this issue of being on transit, but then we should also be disciplined. It's a great opportunity to be flexible.
Awesome. I like that. Because there's this tendency, you turn around, you're seeing the kitchen, you're seeing food, right? You're seeing things that will distract you. Everything is just around, right? So you need to discipline yourself, discipline your appetite, discipline your sleep, right? And your fun time too. Everything you have to really discipline it. It's really interesting. Yeah. So guys, we'll be wrapping up shortly. These sessions are not going to be too long. We're wrapping up shortly. But before we wrap up, we're going to look at now. A lot of us here on the call, maybe those who are joining, they want to get into a tech field because they're seeing the job opportunities, they're seeing the benefits, working from home, and all of that. For someone who wants to get into the tech field right now as a beginner, Esther, right? What tips will you give them? You know, if they want to get job ready, what tips will you give them? You know, as a beginner, someone entering to tech with no tech background. Yeah.
Without any tech background. Okay, so many years ago when we wanted, okay, I've seen people change from, I've seen people who are in the industry changing from agriculture to tech, also people who have no tech background, rising up the ladder in tech. How? So we initially mentioned that it's good to utilize these communities, the schools that offer the skills. So that would be my first point to anyone who is a beginner and wants to get into tech. That is 1, 2. We should start small. Rome was not built in a day. And then also, okay, that's why we have roles from junior to mid-level to expert. So you can start small with the resources that you have, grow consistently until you attain the level that you want. Use the resources that are available, the schools, the communities, even in WhatsApp, there are those DevOps communities, cloud native communities. On social media, the communities are there. If you have a question, you can ask. So we build our skills gradually and consistently. Also, if you can't, if you're looking, you can't be looking for something you don't know. So you are in tech, you just joined tech, you are looking to forward to getting a role, but then you don't know what that role entails. So what I usually do, I reverse engineer. So you go to those online platforms that advertise jobs, check on the role that you want, check on the skills that cut across that they are needed, and then work towards those skills. If they need basics in Linux, basics in CI/CD pipelines, make sure you have. It's not a must you be an expert in all that, but you can have the basics, because even if you're a developer and you go to an interview, they will ask you if you know those basics. Yes, you know how to program, but do you know those basics? So you can start small, you can reverse engineer those roles and see if you will land your dream job that you really wanted. Utilize those playground environments that I had mentioned earlier, and then learn the basics. Okay, I would also mention that apart from the schools, there are programs that are offered by the government. For example, in Kenya, early this year, I got enrolled into another course, my practitioner course for AWS. I was studying in Ajira. Ajira is a partnership between MasterCard and government of Kenya. So you see, they pay for your tutors, they pay for your certifications. Also in Ghana, there are so many. So look at those look at those sponsorship, those organizations who already do offer the same. We have Google. Google has a program they call Get Certified program. They start from fundamentals until you be a professional in the field of cloud GCP. So check on those, and then on AWS, there are credits that they offer. Keep playing with those platforms.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Esther. Right. So if you're a beginner here, you want to get into tech, again, the key word is you want to make things short for you as fast as possible. Right. You don't want to be jumping from one YouTube tutorial, from one documentation to another. The easiest way is to get into a community, right? Get into a community that have structured, well-crafted programs for you. Get into a community that can, refer you for job opportunities, recommend you for job opportunities. And like you said, SolaviseTech, that is just what we do, right? Now we're going to move on to just wrap up our session. We're going to look at, this will be the last question, personal branding, right? Personal branding and using LinkedIn effectively, right? If not of LinkedIn, I wouldn't have met Johannes. If not of LinkedIn, I wouldn't have met Esther, right? And a whole lot of us here on the platform, right? So how did personal branding, let Esther, maybe you can just, since you are still on the hot seat a bit, just pick it up, right? How did personal branding play a role for you and using LinkedIn, right?
Okay. How can we know that you're selling something good without you showing us? So it's good to work on your visibility. Post those little achievements on LinkedIn. Make connections. You have to connect both horizontally and vertically. That is, you connect with people who are on the same field, and also connect with those who are in higher positions in the same field. because they'll get to refer you. So work on your visibility, post those little achievements that you think you've attained, those document your learning journey on LinkedIn, and people will reach out, people will notice you. So have a clean profile on LinkedIn, not memes. Don't post memes on LinkedIn. It's a professional platform.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that. I don't know, Johannes, do you want to add something on personal branding? I think probably you also got your team members, through LinkedIn, right? You said most of your team, you got them through LinkedIn. Maybe you want to add something to that and how that can play a role for you searching for talents, right? So that our participants here on the call, they should know after this, do I need to rush to LinkedIn and, put some nice professional picture, put those my projects on LinkedIn or what should I do? Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm very deliberate on what I post on LinkedIn. First of all, I don't know how many people here on LinkedIn. If your name starts with a small letter, then you're not serious, right? If your first name allows small letters, then you don't know what you're doing. So those things already like piss me off. If you don't have a profile picture, means that I don't know, means that you're either coming to steal my money. I get you out of my way. Um, and if you're reaching out to somebody on LinkedIn, hey boss, that's not the how. Be specific. Hey, I'm this. Read your profile. I really appreciate it. I'm into this. I would love to connect and to see people. Be very punchy. I mean, now I have about 8,000 followers on LinkedIn, and I receive a lot of messages. The moment I receive a message that is weird, I just block. At least it helps me to reduce my. But what I would say is I try to post once every 2 weeks. You don't also want to just be posting. It's good to repost people's posts or comment on things that people have said. Sometimes when I comment on something, somebody will be like, I saw your comment. You never even know who sees that comment. But remember, whatever you post on LinkedIn stays on LinkedIn. Except so be mindful of what you're posting, right? And you need to be a subject matter expert person. You need to be consistent with your posting. If you are into tech, let your pitch or conversations on LinkedIn be focused on tech. It could be tech cuts across everything. But don't go and be posting you in a club dancing to Banner Boy or to someone, because those things people are like, okay. I mean, the benefit of it, LinkedIn is very more professional, right? Facebook is different, Instagram is different, and people judge you from that very first 3 second or 5 second impression on LinkedIn, and they can already figure out who you are, which kind of person you are. So for me, and a young person, you're wearing shades as your profile picture. I don't know, means that I don't know if you have eye problems or what. But if you're wearing shades as a profile picture, I mean, personal brand is very important because for me right now, it takes time to build that brand. Let me be frank. It's not going to be built in 2 days. It took me 6, 7 years because again, I was consistent. What I'm doing now, I started doing in 2008. So I've been consistent in what I've been doing in the area of young people, youth employability, and and right now, if you want to build your brand to the point where at the mention of your name, say Eric, everybody knows that Eric is in the tech space. Everybody knows that Eric is part of SolaviseTech, and that is how your brand should speak for you. Where if I'm looking for somebody to speak on my tech platform, I'm gonna already have names Esther, Eric, which, but it took time for us to get to this point. So it's not easy, you know, to you need to create content. AI is there. You can use ChatGPT, prompt engineer, figure out what you should post. I'm not saying you go and ask ChatGPT, what should I post on LinkedIn to look more formal? No, at least give content. We already have tools that can help you. So I'm gonna end at that, and just to say that LinkedIn is very professional, and your presence on LinkedIn can actually break or mar you though.
Awesome. I think that was like your presence can either, break your mind. Guys, pick it up. And it's good you're saying this, right? It's not coming from me. Sometimes when people are when you say it several times, they don't pick it, right? It's good it's coming from you as a recruiter, as a startup founder, as someone who is bridging the employment gap, in Africa and beyond, right? One of the things that we do at SolaviseTech is optimizing our students' LinkedIn profiles. It's an entire program that we offer for our training, right? If you look at our students, you see that their profiles are different. For anyone that you see maybe posting about SolaviseTech, their LinkedIn profiles are completely different. There's something unique about them, right? You will not see it as any LinkedIn profile out there. There's something, because we are so intentional and committed, in optimizing their LinkedIn profile so that they can stand out, right? Yes, we do this on a one-on-one basis and also at a committee level. I think a few weeks back, some of them here can testify, right? I've been working with them one-on-one. Like we work on one-on-one. Okay, they'll be like, Eric, this is my LinkedIn picture. How does it look? I'll tell you, yes, this looks good. This one, no, it doesn't look fine. And those are kind of things we help you one-on-one to do, right? Just free of charge. We are not charging you for those basic ones. Okay. Yeah. So I'm happy you're saying this. Guys, it's here that we come to the end of the session. But before we end, right? Before we end, our co-founder and CEO, Dr. Samba, is on the call. Before we get to him, we want to hear from you, Esther and Johannes. What will be the last 2 or 3 words, right, for our community members, for all of you here that are on the call here, and for those who are going to be listening to this recording that will be dropped on our YouTube channel, right, after this session? So what will be the last few words that you can give us to our community? Esther?
Upskill and specialize. That's it.
Perfect. Guys, the technologies are coming so fast, right? They're popping up so fast. So the only thing is to upskill and keep going. Yes, Johannes, what do you want to say before we get to questions from our participants? What do you want to say? You're muted, sir.
I would say upskill with a purpose. Don't just upskill for upskilling. Don't just upskill for upskilling sake. Let peer pressure not push you to upskill. Upskill with a purpose.
Perfect. Upskill with a purpose. Don't be jumping from one AI tool to another, right? They say, oh, this AI tool is out. You go and then you just subscribe, and then you are just running prompts over there. They say, oh, is this tool that is trending in cloud? You jump and then you learn it. It's Kubernetes that is trending, but you don't know Linux. You want to go and learn Kubernetes, right? So guys, don't be be trending on, don't be following trending topics, trending skills, and all of that. I'm happy they are all in sync with this. Let's go now to, before we get to questions, right? Dr. Samba, the CEO and founder of SolaviseTech, he's based right in Canada. Due to his busy schedule, he couldn't join us on time. Doc, we want to hear from you. I know you've been listening to us with all these magic pills that are being dropped right from Kenya, the US. You're muted.
Yes, Eric, thank you so much. It's a pleasure and honor for me to be here today to join this amazing team. Thank you so much, Johannes. Did I pronounce it well?
Yes, you can call me Your Highness. It's okay.
Igwe, I can call Igwe, right? All right, Your Highness, Johannes. All right, Esther, thank you so much. And we equally appreciate everybody who made our time to be on this call. And each time I get on a call like this, I always look at how I started SolaviseTech. When I knew nothing much in tech, just a little heads up. My background is in medicine. I'm a medical doctor, but I saw the need for just leveraging technology in whether healthcare, business, leadership, and I decided to take the leap into the space. And I'm grateful that down the line, people like Eric, brought the vision and enjoying us to see how we can consistently change, the narrative and just improve one life at a time. And that's just what drives us here, helping people improve their lives, leveraging technology. And thank you all once again for accepting to the call. I just moved to Canada 3 months ago and I'm trying to find my feet in a new environment. That's why I couldn't join it on time.
Where
But
in Canada are you in, Samba?
London on
Oh,
time.
I've been in Toronto for 10 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so London is a great place. Yes, you have a good
Okay.
time. A good
Yeah.
community is there. Yeah,
All right. So I'll be glad to equally connect with you
yeah.
probably after the call. Thank you. So yeah, thank you everybody. And just to add to what I know each of you has shared, um, one of the key things that I've really learned also out here moving to a new environment is really around soft skills, right? Really around networking, which is something that many people really do not take very seriously. I just stepped on the call while I heard you guys talking about branding and posting with great intention on LinkedIn. About 85% of my team as well, I've not met them in person. It has just been through LinkedIn. That they were just engaging on our post, and I just set up a conversation and said, hey, let's get on the call. I saw that they had values that align with mine and what we're trying to build, and we could be able to build something. And this is 3 years going down the line. We've been building SolaviseTech, getting to the 4th year now, and I'm grateful that we are making progress per time. So thank you all, everybody who joined the call. We believe that you must have gained something today. I know a lot has been said, but for sure, sessions like this are never for everybody. I always say that it's always for one person, and that person can be you. You just have to personalize and say, okay, after attending a session like this, what have I gained? What can I apply? Because definitely results only come when we apply knowledge acquired, So thank you so much, Eric, for hosting this. And I want to congratulate each and every one of you who stepped on the call. And yeah, over back to you, Eric. And thank you so much once again, joining us. Thank you so much, Esther. Bye.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I got kicked out. Doc, I didn't get what you said. How you rounded up.
Yeah, I just rounded up appreciating you for hosting this far and believing
Okay.
that everything that has been said, was towards one person. We don't know who that person is going to be. And whoever is going to take on the lessons from here and just apply, even if it's 1 or 2% of what they've learned, it has the potential to change their lives, So yeah.
Perfect. So just stay on, Doc. I'm going to get back to you so that we can wrap up.
Okay.
Let's pick questions from our community. Guys, if you have any question, you want to raise up your hand, feel free. Right? You want to drop your LinkedIn profile so that we can connect with you. Right? You can connect with Your Highness, right? And see you might be the next person on his team, right? Guys, drop your LinkedIn profiles, right? Even if it's not yet optimized, even if you still have your first name starting with a lowercase, drop it and then you run back and change it later, right? So
Yes,
drop
but
it,
don't
drop
wear
it.
shit. Make sure I don't wear shit. Don't wear dark shit on your LinkedIn profile. Otherwise, I
Guys,
won't have. Just kidding.
awesome. Guys, any question? Okay, yes, Lucky, you have a question. You can unmute yourself. Yes, unmute. You can unmute. You're muted.
Yeah, my question is actually directed to Your Highness. I spoke about his AI platform. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
You 5 on 5.
Okay. I have used AI platform in the past where I created a profile, then I took the mandatory test, I applied for the job, and after some time I didn't hear anything from them. So I don't know because when you were talking about nana.com, I had to sign up. I've signed up. Though I've not created I created my profile. I'm yet to verify it because I cannot switch between my phone and my system. So I don't know if Nana your AI platform has or is able to solve challenge, because I felt very disappointed. I created my profile, took the test, I applied for the job, and I did not hear anything from the job poster. So I don't know if your AI
Good,
platform is able to
good.
solve that.
So it's called Nanade. Nanade is a Fulani word, which means to hire or to employ. And I came up with that word because I wanted it to be African. I lived in northern part of. I did work in Kano. I learned Hausa when I was there a little bit, so I tried to keep it very African. So yes, what we are actually solving that problem, Lucky. So on another day right now, you would see jobs right now. There is no assessment. The only assessment that you get is applying for the job. Once you apply for the job, the AI matches you based on your skills. So it takes keywords of from your CV, matches it with keywords from the job description, and gives you a score. A score above 65 allows a score above 65 tells you that you've applied, that you've met the criteria for that role. The moment you click apply, the employer gets your CV immediately. Once the employer gets your CV immediately, that employer then can immediately schedule an interview with you to do another pre interview, just to be sure that what you said you have on your skill on your CV are actually the skills that you can actually do have. And for those that don't succeed, they actually receive an email to say you have not been successful. But at some you would go through the interview process. So we take you through the interview process, and you will know if you actually succeeded or not. So we are actually solving that in a seamless way. So it's a platform. So they will not even email you to say you're not successful. You will know if you have been successful or not based on your score. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I mean, I can tell you more about Nanade at some point. I can share it also in your community as well, Eric, if you don't mind. At some point, if you guys want me to help onboard some of your users. Right now, we are offering all our features for free. You can actually create an ATS compliant CV. You can actually do mock interviews right now on our platform for free. You can actually access upskilling resources for free. You can actually get a complete skills gap analytics. It tells you the gaps that you're lacking, and it proposes the skills or the resources that you should take to upskill. So it's very much streamlined. We're using API, and we're partnering with Google. But yes, I can always share insights on what we are trying to achieve. And for now, we are offering all the features for free. So
Okay.
before we start to monetize, yes, but for now
Okay.
it's free. Yes.
All right. Okay. Amazing. I think we can maybe talk about that. Maybe after the session.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Guys, any other question before we wrap up? We spent the discussion has been so interesting that we've gone beyond the time. Right. Any comment? Any observation? Any remark? It must not necessarily be a question. Okay. Yes, Godfrey.
Okay, I think it's been wonderful listening to all the pieces of advice and everything you've shared, the panelists, and I think it's wonderful. So my question is, since in the room we have like people who've worked in global teams or have worked in teams remotely, and one thing that I'd like to understand is like since Janice has mentioned that there's a big difference, that skills gap between the African workforce and the other locations. So my question is, what are like specific differences that you've seen that that are there, not necessarily in the within like the young generation, but that cuts across, that like will be helpful to just make sure that you stand out, maybe if you get into a remote workplace, or just to make sure you're ready for like distributed teams.
Is that for me or Esther? You want to come in? Oh, I should take it.
I think it's
I
for
think
everyone.
it's for.
Okay, for me.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So one of the things that we do is our AI gives you a complete skills gap analytics score. It tells you your strengths, your weaknesses, areas of improvement, and recommendations with clear outlining the soft skills that you need. I think one of the things that can make young people stand out is, don't just tell me that you managed a project on, tell me that you quantify it. Tell me that you managed a team of 20 people. You guys led this project worth $2 million, 2 million, maybe 10 million francs, to help change maybe a platform or whatever. But one of the things that would help young people keep them in the job is taking initiative. Taking initiative. If you join a team and you're just sitting for your boss to tell you what to do, you're just as useless as somebody who wasn't part of the team. You need to take initiative. And I'm gonna make it blunt, and I'm very blunt with this. I like people that make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you're my friend. But don't make the same mistake twice. That's where there's a problem. Yeah. Make mistakes. Do not be shy. Because for me, I've always learned by making mistakes. I never get it right. I never get it right. I always make mistakes. Because the moment you make that mistake, it sticks in your head. But I'm not saying that you just make mistakes for mistake's sake. Make mistakes that even you yourself will figure out, okay. So to stand out, take initiative, ask questions. Ask questions, but learn other tools, learn ways of streamlining your workflow, learn ways of increasing efficiency, because any employer would want people that are taking initiative to. If something was taking 10 hours or 5 hours to do, it should take you now 2 minutes, because now there are tools out there that would reduce that time. It's not AI is so there's this data that just came out at Stanford. AI There's data to suggest that AI is not actually taking jobs, because we haven't had the impact that AI is actually taking jobs. There's not enough data to suggest that. But they are saying that people that are not able to use AI, their jobs will be lost. If you're not able to use AI, you will become irrelevant. So if you are in a team, take initiative, do your research, bring in some good energy, but so those would be the key things I would say if you want to really stay on your job, and be relevant in today's workforce.
Awesome. Godfrey, are you satisfied?
Yes, thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, guys, it's here that we wrap up our session, since there's no other question, right? I want us to give a thumbs up, a clap, for our amazing panelists, Esther, Mite, Your Highness Paulus, Yimbesalu, right? Guys, let's give them a shout out. Let's give them a shout out, right? If you gain something from here, right? They have spent their time, hours, being with us here, and I think it's good we acknowledge them. And we shouldn't only acknowledge them. Let's continue to connect after this, right? Let's continue to connect after this. It doesn't end here. This is just the starting point. This is just the starting point. I want to say, Doc, I want you to come up. We'll be launching our new cohorts, right? Like I said earlier on, we're training on cloud computing, AWS and DevOps, particularly data science and machine learning, or cyber security, and whatnot, right? And these are not crash courses. This is not a foundational, program. These are not foundational programs. These are not basic programs. These are deep dive, advanced programs to make you fully become a DevOps expert, a data analyst, a cybersecurity expert, right? Doc, would you want to brief us on that, and maybe talk about the programs we'll be launching come next year?
Oh, yes. So, for those who are looking forward to probably starting the year in tech, it doesn't matter your background, whether you've had a background in software engineering or not. You can, sign up for any of our programs. We have trainings in AWS and DevOps. It's going to be a 6 months training. We have trainings 3 days a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, usually from around 9 p.m. West African time to around 12 a.m. As well as we have data science and machine learning. We would most likely be having as a split program, foundational for 3 months, and then advanced, or foundational for 6 months, and then advanced for 3 months. But then if you want to take the entire program end to end, it would take you like 8 months. It's going to be 2 days a week, very flexible, 2 hours a day as well. So that's 4 hours a week. Then we currently have cybersecurity training. It's important to know that we are partner with Cisco Network Academy, so we follow that curriculum, as well as for AWS and DevOps, we are partner with Amazon Web Services. So the cybersecurity program as well is 2 days a week. It's going to be for 3 to 4 months, and it's going to be run by our CTO, Kevin Tway. He's not here with us today, but he's going to run that program. Then we currently have AI-powered digital marketing, which is equally run by our Chief Marketing Officer, is equally going to. So all these programs start at the same time, second week of January. And so in case you are looking forward to signing up, or you have other friends who probably want to sign up, we strongly encourage that you can, we're going to be making those flyers available by the end of this week or early next week. So you can just get started. I would say the most difficult part of it is to start, right? Once you start and you have a clear roadmap, everything may not be very clear definitely at the start, but if you're open to learning, open to continuous growth, you'll be able to get your feet along the way. And the good thing about it is that we accompany you along the journey. For us, it's a journey. There's no end to it. Once you sign up into this space, it's not like after the training, I'm done, I'm good around it. So you stay in the community, just continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to get better at it. Yeah, so that's what we have. And our training style is usually we just have small classroom sizes, small cohorts, and there's very close follow-up. You can reach out to our support team 247 via our different collaborative platforms. So yeah, so that's it from my end, and I'm looking forward to those who may want to start. So you can just reach out to us via our website, the contacts there. You can just send us a DM on WhatsApp or via email, and we'll be happy to get you on board. Thank you.
Okay, Doc. Thank you so much, Doc. Okay, guys, it's here that we wrap up. A big applause again for our panelists. I've learned a lot. I don't know what you've learned, but for me, I had my notebook here, right? I always jot down. So I hope you've also learned. Okay, Brenda says the page is not available. Which page is that? Somebody says the page is not available. Can that be sorted? Hello, Brenda. Which page are you referring to? I can't get that. Okay, all right, okay. All right. Okay, I think you can follow up. Maybe Godfrey, they said your page is not available. Maybe you want to resend your LinkedIn page, right? Yeah, but while you're doing that, guys, it's been an amazing session. This happens every 2 weeks. It happens every 2 weeks. And next on our program, we are going to have 3 DevOps projects, right? If you have someone who wants to learn Docker, who wants to understand Terraform, who wants to understand AWS, right? We have Saturday sessions free for anyone to attend. Project-based, hands-on, you need to dirty your hands, right? These ones, they are not relaxation sessions. You need to come up with your computer, your 2 screens, get your hands dirty on the AWS console, run some pipelines, document that project, go on the interview, and then fire it. So these are free programs, and it's going to come up next. So stay tuned, follow us on our social media platforms, and don't miss any of our programs. Guys, it's been an amazing session. Thank you, Johannes. Thank you, Esther. And let's continue the conversation after this. Thank you all. Sure, guys. Thank you. Thank you all, everyone. Yeah. Bye, everyone.